Hi everyone, so in this video I thought I'd go through some different UV lamps that I've had. I've got 4 different styles here, and I'd just like to go through each one and kind of explain what I liked about them and what I didn't. Also briefly I'll be discussing some of the products that you can use with the UV lamps that I am familiar with. It'll be real brief. Also at the end of this video I will say everything in Spanish, so if you need it in Spanish that'll be at the end of this. And just real quick I'll say that. Por esos que necesitan esta información en español, si quieren esperar hasta que yo termino en inglés, lo voy a hacer en español si quieren esperar. So I'll go ahead and get started real quick. First, there are different types of gels that you can use with a UV lamp. There are polishes, which like this one, there's also like the brand Gelish and other ones. This is just the one that I grabbed out of my drawer. And it's, it has a brush, and you apply it the same way you would fingernail polish, except for you have to dry it in a UV lamp. The manicure usually lasts about a week depending on application and how fast your nails grow. There's also this kind that comes in a little pot, and this is soak off gel. And then you would just use a brush to apply it. There are also gel builders, which are used to make a nail. Instead of using acrylic, you would use these. These are just a couple of the brands that I've used. Both are good. This one's from Sally's. This one I get online. And you can buy this pot in clear for a couple of bucks on eBay. And again, those you have to cure in a UV lamp. And there's also top coats, which is what I mostly use my UV lamp for now. Here's 2 that I use, which is NSI Glaze & Go and Axiom by OPI. I also have this kind here in the pot. Works the same way. You just have to use a UV gel coat brush to put it on. You can also use these mixing color with clear to make different designs like I did on this practice nail here. So it just kind of depends what you want to do, but they all have the same thing in common, is that you need to use a UV lamp in order to do that. So the UV lamps that I have, the very first one I purchased was this one here, and this is a 36 watt. It has a timer on the top, and then it also has a built-in fan if you're using fingernail polish to dry it. Like I said, this was my very first one. I got it about 3 years ago. Overall, I was really pleased with the purchase. It worked very well. You can get these online now on eBay for about $40, and all you have to type in is 36 watt UV lamp with timer and fan. And that's why I purchased this one. They have 4 light bulbs inside. This one only has 2 in right now because I took out 2. The only thing with this one is after 6 months it ended up stopped working. I purchased new light bulbs for it, thinking that that's what it was because I'd had it for so long, and it wasn't. What I ended up taking it into a place, and what they told me was that the circuit board inside actually fried, and because I had purchased this online, there was no way for me to fill out a claim or exchange it. I would just have to replace it. At $60 it was a little steep at the time. That's what I paid for it. But I mean, overall it was a good machine when I had it, when it worked. I'm not sure if it was just my machine that was defective or if other ones in this style have the same issue. So, but it was a good machine while I used it, and I mostly used this one. I used quite often because at the time I wasn't doing acrylics, I was doing gel nails, and so I would use it in between each setting time. So I'd have it on, and like I said, you could set the timer here. So that one was good for that. The next one I purchased was this 9 watt gel curing UV lamp. If you take it out of the package, this is what it looks like. The only thing, now this, it feels really good and it feels very sturdy, but and it only has 1 light. If you guys can see that in there. It only has 1 light, which is really hard to change. This one, it only lasted me about a month. before it went. So it was about $15 again on eBay. It just has an on-off switch, no timer, and it was pretty good. The only issue I had with it was that I could only put in, you know, 4 fingers at a time, or 4 fingers and a thumb. And the cure time on this was a little bit longer. So if on my other one if I used it for 90 seconds, this one would cure for, you know, a full 2 to 3 minutes, you know, on each hand, and then, you know, it would take 3 times to do my fingers, my other fingers, and then my thumbs, you know, so it was a bit of a hassle. And then, like I said, within a month it blew out. I tried replacing the bulb, it wasn't that. I'm not sure what the issue is. I didn't take this one in to get looked at because it was only a $15 lamp. You can get these pretty much anywhere on eBay. Just type in 9-watt UV lamp. So the next one I got was from my brother, and it's this one here called Shush Ultra V. This is from the same company that does Shush Vite top coat. And what it is it's a 4-watt battery operated UV lamp. It looks like this, and this was from Sally's Beauty Supply. Regular price, these ones are $24.99. When I got it though, or when my brother purchased it for me, he got it on special for half price, and then it came with a free top coat, and this is their top coat that's meant for the machine. The two of them work really well together. The only issue I have with this top coat is that it's very thin. It does not have the same consistency as a regular UV top coat, and it's not as shiny. It's still nice, but it's not as good. So the other thing is, when you're using it with acrylic, if you have any lines from filing, it will settle into the lines and show them quite a bit. So you'll need to use a good buffer when you're using this one. And like I said, it's just a 4-watt, so it's this tiny little bulb. It turns on here with a switch after you put in your batteries. I don't know if you can see it's on. The only thing is that because it is only a 4-watt, it takes a very long time to dry. So it does work with like this OPI UV gel top coat, but it takes forever. It takes about 5 to 6 minutes each time you put it in. So that's something to keep in mind, that because it's not very powerful, and it will not set like this here, the polish gels or the builder gels. It's just not strong enough. So it will not work with these or the colored ones, but it does work with this one. It works very well. It only took maybe 2 minutes, but then again, you know, there's issues with this one. I didn't particularly like it. So that was the next one that I purchased. You can buy an AC adapter so you don't have to run it on batteries, but it's another $18 if you want that. So it just depends if it's worth it to you, you know, at $25 and then $18 for the adapter, you know, for only a 4-watt. Unless you can catch it on like the sale I did where it was only $12. And then you got the free top coat. So it just kind of depends what you're looking for and how often you use it. I use my lamp pretty often, so for me this one is not practical. I was burning through batteries quite quickly, just because I'd have to leave it on for so long to use the top coats that I prefer. Other than that, it's a good little machine. It's nice. And Sally's will exchange it if something goes wrong with it, which, you know, for the last two that I showed you, my issue was that I could not exchange it because they were purchased, you know, on eBay and not in the US. So that's the next one. So the last one I have to show you is actually the one I'm using currently, and this is an 18-watt lamp. So it has 2 of the bulbs, each one 9 watts. This one I actually picked up at naillightinc.com. It has a timer on it, so right here you can set it for 120, 90 seconds, or you can have it on continuous. There's the on-off switch here in the back. This one, I absolutely love it. I like the design of it because I can enter the way I want to. I can do both hands at once or just one. There's all this room on the side plus here in the front. I can also use this if I'm doing rock star toes, or if I need to do a top coat on my toes, I can use it to put my feet under, and there is plenty of room underneath. If you find that you need the light bulbs, you can also purchase those at naillightinc.com. For the machine itself, I ended up paying, it's about $30 on sale. I looked on there this morning and they do not have this particular model, but they do have other ones on there. If you're interested in that, prices vary according to which model you want. I'm not sure if they're going to carry this one anymore or if they've discontinued it, because it's been about a year since I purchased this one. For the bulbs on their website, you can purchase their bulbs for $4.94 if you're interested in it. So I mean, that's another thing to consider. You know, when you purchase one, you are supposed to change out your light bulbs quite frequently, because the UV does dissipate and then it ends up taking longer to actually cure the nails the longer you have it. So it just depends, you know, how often you use it as to how much you will need to, how often you'll need to change the light bulbs. So for me, this one works great, 18 watts. I pop my UV gel on there, you know, 120 seconds and I'm done. It will cure the gel builder and the polishes. I have no problem with that at the 18 watts. So it just depends what you're using it for. It works fine for me. I haven't had any issues with it, and I've had it for a year now and I haven't had any problems, and I've changed the light bulbs once on this one. So that's about it. So overall, I was happy with most of my purchases, except for this little 9-watt one, because it only lasted me a month, even though it was only $15 to keep replacing it month after month. And then I've seen other reviews online where this one doesn't get very good reviews, so you might look into that. I know there's different styles of the 9-watt, and I haven't tried those, so you might have a better luck with them. This one works good. It's cost effective. If all you're doing, you know, you don't do sets very often, you don't use it very often, this one works great. You might look into purchasing their top coat to go with it, just because they work best together. Like I said, it will cure the other top coats, but it does take longer, so just keep that in mind. The last one was this big one. At the time it was $60 when I purchased it, so it was a little expensive for me. Like I said, the circuit board inside is what ended up frying. I cannot fix that. I took it in to try. I did love it when I used it. The timer was nice, and then the fan in it was also nice if you were doing nail polish. Now it's not as expensive, so it's only $40, so it's up to you if you want to try it for 40 bucks, you know, and see if you have better luck with it. It might have just been my machine, or it could be this brand specifically. So I hope that answers some of your guys' questions, and if you need this in Spanish, go ahead and stay tuned. Hola, ahorita yo quiero hablar poquito de diferentes clases de lámparas de UV y también un poquito en las diferentes clases de gel que puedes usar juntos con las lámparas de UV. Yo sé que normalmente yo no hago estos videos en español, y a lo mejor voy a usar palabras que no son muy bien, como yo no hablo español todo el tiempo, pero voy a tratar. Primero, las diferentes clases de gel que puedes poner. Este es la primero, se llama Builder Gel o Builder Gel, y este lo usas para hacer la uña como el acrílico. Y luego hay top coats de UV, como estos aquí, y estos te ponen como pintura y no tienen color, y este también es un diferente que tienes que poner con un brush. Y también hay como pinturas que tienen color, y mismo cosa, tienen color y lo pones mismo como pintura de uñas. Y luego hay este crazy, y también tienes que usar un brush para ponerlo. La primera lámpara que te quiero enseñar es la primera que yo compré cuando yo estaba empezando de hacer uñas y todo eso, y este es uno de 36 watts y tiene 4, adentro tiene 4 focos, y luego aquí arriba lo puedes hacer por el tiempo que quieres poner la mano, y también tiene que adentro que echa aire por secar la pintura de uñas. Este estaba bien cuando la compré, estaba como unos $60 más o menos, cuando yo compré como unos 3 años así. Ahorita la puedes comprar en eBay por 40 si las quieres. Este estaba bien, como digo, nomás el único problema que yo tenía es en como unos 6 meses me quebró y ya no quiere servir. La llevé a alguien que arregla todo eso y me dijo que es un parte de adentro que se quemó, y por eso yo no quería comprar otro, como estaba mucho en ese tiempo a los $60. Pero la máquina estaba bien y sí funciona bien. Este es la otra clase que compré. Este es de 9 watts. Este lo compré en eBay también y era por como unos $15. Este no tiene, no puedes, nomás tiene aquí atrás para prenderlo y apagarlo. Y está bien chiquito aquí para poner la mano. Eso es un problema que no me gustaba. Y el otro problema que yo tenía es que este nomás aguantó como un mes y ya se quebró y ya no se quiere prender por nada. Y por eso este yo no me voy a comprar otra vez, no sirve, y nomás estaba por como un mes, como digo, y por eso este no estaba bien. Sí, no estaba mucho en $15, pero por comprar uno cada mes en $15 yo no creo que está muy bien. Este es uno que mi hermano me compró. Este es de la Sally Beauty Supply, la tienda, y este es nomás de 4 watts y este se prende con pila. Si la prendo así la puedes mirar, y también se abre si lo necesitas. Puedes cambiar este foco, pero la única cosa es que lo único lugar que puedo hallar la foco es allí en los Sally's, y todos los Sally's no la tienen. También puedes comprar la parte aquí por enchufarlo, pero es otro $18. Normalmente este cuesta como unos $25 allí en Sally's, pero cuando nosotros la compramos la agarramos en $12 y luego agarraste gratis la gel que hace con ese. Y este sí está bien, nomás la única cosa es que porque este no está muy fuerte, no hace bien por secar las otras clases de gel. Este sí la seca, la top coat, pero el problema es que es mucho tiempo, es como unos 5 o 6 minutos, como normalmente es como unos 2 minutos por hacerlo en otra lámpara. Y este es de color, nunca van a secar aquí con este porque no está fuerte. Y luego también la misma cosa con los builder gels para hacer las uñas, no sirve tampoco. So depende de qué vas a usar este. Si nomás lo quieres para poner el brillo aquí en la uña, entonces está bien, y le puedes usar con este o con la marca de ellos que sirve más mejor. Este sí sirve, en como unos 2 minutos ya está seca y ya está bien. Pero como digo, la lámpara no está muy fuerte, tienes que cambiar las pilas todo el tiempo, y por hallar la foco nomás lo puedes hallar allí en los Sally's. So nomás depende a qué necesitas. Lo último que yo tengo es este que estoy usando ahorita. Este es de 18 watts, tiene los 2 focos aquí. Este lo compré en naillightinc.com. Aquí tiene por diferentes tiempos, y aquí atrás lo puedes prender y apagar. Y así, como digo, lo estoy usando ahorita. Ya tengo como 1 año con este y ya está bien. Cambié los bulbs una vez cada 6 semanas más o menos lo cambio. También puedes comprar los focos allí en la naillightinc.com están por unos $4.94. La lámpara de esta clase es como unos $30. También tienes también allí tienen otras clases que tienen diferentes precios. Si la quieres buscar, voy a poner la información abajo de este video, así puedes buscar si quieres. Eso es todo. Muchas gracias por mirar mi video.